This is the first video in a series called The Origin of Every Marvel Rival Skin. In this series, as the title suggests, I will explain the comic origin, the movie appearance, and the story behind every skin in Marvel Rivals. Before I get into the video, I will try to explain how the series will be structured. So every season will have two parts. Part 1 for the comic skins, and part 2 for the movie and original skins. Today we will talk about Season 0. So let's get right into things with the comic skins that were released in Season 0. Let's go! The Master of Black Magic Doctor Strange skin first appeared in Strange Tales 1951 in issue 115. The origin of Doctor Strange starts like this. He is a selfish doctor that only cares about money. Unfortunately, he gets into an accident that makes him seek the Ancient One. This is where he sees Mordo perform dark magic. Strange, wanting to stop him, trains day and night to become a master of black magic himself. The mighty G-Bomb skin first appeared in Incredible Hulk 1962 in issue 1. This is the origin of the Hulk. It begins as you probably remember. Dr. Banner is getting ready to test the G-Bomb when teenager Rick Jones appears on the test grounds. Bruce manages to get the boy to safety, but he is baited in the first of the gamma rays. He survives, but now transforms into the grey monster named Hulk. A fun fact about Hulk in the early comics is the fact that he didn't transform when he was angry, as you probably think so. He worked more like a werewolf and transformed only at night into Hulk. Now, the more you know, the more you know. The Goddess of Death, Hela skin, first appeared in Thor 1966, issue 354. With the disappearance of Sartor and Odin, the demons are beginning to disappear back to Muspelheim. Back in Asgard, Hela has sensed Odin passing and comes for him. Thor strikes her and sends her back to her realm. Thor leaves Asgard and goes into the wilderness, but Hela, still angry from her beating at Thor's hands, kills his horse. The Master of Magnetism, Magneto skin, first appeared in Uncanny-X-Men 1981, issue 1. We see the first X-Men team made up by Cyclops, Beast, Angel, and Iceman, all training when Professor X calls him to meet the new student, Jean Grey, also known as Marvel Girl. You know, all of them are being creepy towards Jean. Even Xavier is a bit creepy, and it's kind of weird, to be honest, but I don't know, comics are kind of weird, it doesn't matter. Now, it cuts to Magneto taking control of a military camp. Back to the X-Men, we see Jean trying the uniform she received, while the men are spying on her. Again, like creeps. It's weird, I don't really like it. Early X-Men comics were a bit weird. X-Men comics are weird in general, but it doesn't matter. When Charles calls them to take care of Magneto, after a pretty short fight, they manage to make Magneto flee the scene, and they emerge victorious. Now, 173 issues later, the Mohawk Rock Storm skin appears. Some backstory to what is happening right now. So, Wolverine invited the X-Men to his wedding in Japan, but Storm disappeared and all of the X-Men were injured. So we see Wolverine and Rogue interrogating a man for the location of the X-Men. We now cut to Storm and Yukio being pursued by armed men. Back to Wolverine and Rogue, they are infiltrating the residence of the Silver Samurai, the half-brother to Wolverine's wife, while Logan sees a trap and goes to save Rogue before being hit by it. After being saved by him, Rogue threatens Wolverine with a kiss, but he doesn't appreciate the joke. We cut back to Storm, who took out the men. She enjoyed hurting them. She never used her powers before like that. So, we now cut back to Rogue attacking Viper's men, and we see Wolverine having a fight with the Silver Samurai. Logan obviously manages to defeat him, but right before finishing him, if you know what I mean, his lover tells him to stop. As they go to leave, Viper shoots them from behind. But Rogue sacrifices herself to save them. Wolverine goes in to kiss her, in a Rogue. Because if you don't know, Rogue can absorb powers by touching the person, but it's still a bit weird, his wife is right there, you could have just touched her, it wasn't necessarily to kiss her, but comics, who cares? We cut to a week later to Wolverine's wedding. All the X-Men are there, but one. Oh wait, doesn't matter, Storm arrived, and she has a new look. As the ceremony begins, it's stopped by Mariko. That is Wolverine's soon-to-be wife. Well, actually, not anymore, because she says that Wolverine is not worthy to marry her. A bit later in the same series, we first see the Vengeance Psylock skin in Uncanny-X-Men 1981 issue 256. I'm gonna warn you, Psylock lore is very weird, so without context, this will be weird, and it was weird for me to read it myself. So, we see this guy that just killed all the goons of the Mandarin. He comes to his office to offer an alliance between his organization and the Hand. To begin their alliance, he offers a gift. That gift is the ultimate assassin. Next we see a dream of Betsy's, revealing parts of her life. We see her turning from British to Japanese? That's weird. I don't know. I don't know what is happening. That's already weird. After that, we see her murdering fellow X-Men like Storm, Colossus, Havoc, and more, in order to obtain each of the Mandarin's 10 rings. In the end, Psylocke defeats the Mandarin himself, and it's revealed that this dream was a brainwashing experiment that the Hand used to finalize their assimilation of Psylocke into their organization, the Assassin Guild. In the end, she returns the rings to the Mandarin, to whom she pledges her undying loyalty to. As I said, weird. The Green Scar Hulk skin first appeared in Hulk 1999 issue 92. Well, actually the skin first appeared in issue 93, but I will explain both of them. Hulk has been sent to another planet by the Illuminati. This planet is covered by the Red King. Hulk is obviously easily defeated by slavers because he was tagged with an obedience disc. He wakes up in an arena where he quickly goes to defeat the creature named Great Devil Corker, whatever that is. The creature swallows Hulk, much to the crowd's annoyance, but he emerges from within the creature and kills it. After they emerge victorious, Mick, another gladiator in the arena, tells Hulk that maybe the Red King will let them free, but Hulk wants nothing of this, and he attacks the king. The Red Kings enter the arena in a powerful endoskeleton to battle Hulk one-on-one. Hulk manages to cut his face. No one has ever hurt the Red King before. Now, with this, the Red King quickly stops the Hulk with the disc he is implanted in him. The Red King decides that the Hulk and the other gladiators will be taken to the mall. We see the Red King's guards telling the gladiators that only 7 will leave this place, so the battle begins. Later, it's revealed that the 7 warriors are Korg, Mick, Broad, and an unbound shadow, Captain Levinsky, Eloe, and Hulk. Later again, we see Hulk in his gladiator skin, where he and the others are put to stop a pack of wild boats. After defeating them, a group of rebel fighters comes to rescue the trapped gladiators. The Punisher 2099 skin first appeared in Punisher 2099, 1993, issue 1. Disclaimer before I start telling the story. I couldn't read the comic myself since I couldn't find the comic on Marvel Unlimited, so this section is taken from the Marvel Fandom website. So yeah, all credits goes to that. In the year 2099, average people need to pay money to the police just for basic protection rights in a world of madmen and monsters. Justice is simply an amount of money to be traded for human lives. But one man, a vigilante, is fighting against the criminals of the future to bring real justice back to the world by serving the ultimate punishment to those who will break the law. Jake Gallo is a special operation agent for the police department. Not long before, Jake was witness to the tragic and brutal murder of his mother, younger brother, and his brother's wife by the insane sociopathic Cron Stone. Using an arsenal of weapons he has been amassing over the past months, Jake sets out on his self-appointed mission to bring justice back to a failed system. Jake reads the last words of Frank Castle, the original Punisher, in a book hidden in the police files, and knows his goal. You, who find this, I charge you to carry on my work. Jake knows a crime deserves a real punishment. Jake must become the Punisher. The Eldritch armor magic skin first appeared in New Mutants 1983 issue 65. Magic yells at Magneto, telling him that they need to do something and need to kill Forge because he killed Colossus. Magneto disagrees with her. She teleports to talk with Kitty. She also disagrees with Magic. She yells at her and then teleports off. Magic shows up back to the X-Mansion to get her suit. Her team grabs onto her as she teleports to Limbo. They all are now there. The team says that they will go with her to help save Illyana from herself. Magic pulls out the Soul Sword from Limbo, then goes after Forge. Magic turns into Dark Child form and attacks Forge. She's about to kill him with the sword, but then Cannonball stops her and Forge transforms back into Mystic Hue. They see a vision of the city being overrun by demons. As they are watching this, the real Forge appears, and Magic again gets even more mad and teleports her and her teammates ready to fight and kill him. The Rocky Rocket Raccoon skin first appeared in Rocket Raccoon 1985 issue 1. While Walrus and Layla are bathing in the waterfall, Rocket is trying to decipher the half-word Bible. But unfortunately, the Keystone Cops arrive to inform him about an assassination. Rocket and Walrus take the Rock and Ruin to Mayhem Mechanics to confront Jutson Jakes. Meanwhile, Lord Divine kidnaps Layla. Rocket and Wall battle with numerous killer clowns before fighting Jutson Jakes. He insists that Rocket can't stop a war from happening unless Divine is killed and Layla marries him. They are interrupted by Lord Divine appearing by video screen to explain that he has kidnapped Layla and plans to marry her. Layla pleads to Rocket to rescue her and Jake demands the same, or he will cause an all-out war. The Ivory Breeze Storm skin first appeared in X-Men 1991 issue 1. We see Magneto in space bringing some stranded mutants to Asteroid M, his home. It cuts to the X-Men having a training exercise that is interrupted by Nick Fury, informing them that Magneto is active. We come back to Asteroid M, where we see a human kill a mutant in front of Magneto. This obviously infuriates him, makes him go on Earth. He has a nuke! Where did he get a nuke from? Rogue is able to make him stay down and not do anything bad. It all ends good. Oh wait, the Soviet fucking Union bombed Rogue. But don't worry, she survived. But Magneto is not gonna let the humans off easy this time or ever again. The Anti-Venom skin first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 1999 issue 569. Some backstory to this whole thing is Eddie separated from the symbiote and traces of it were left in his body. Later, after being diagnosed with cancer, Martin Lee, aka Mr. Negative, used his powers to cure Eddie's cancer. During this process, Lee accidentally infused the remnants of the symbiote with his power and fused him with his white blood cells. This created a new hybrid symbiote which manifested when Venom, during this time, having as host McGargan, the Scorpion, tried to return to Eddie. This is where Anti-Venom manifested for the first time. The Ultimate Hela skin first appeared in Ultimatum 2008 in issue 2. Before I start this segment again, I'm sorry, but Ultimatum is a fucking crazy event for a crazy universe, aka the Ultimate Universe, so there will be some fucked up things that will happen here, so disclaimer for that. The comic starts explaining that a giant tidal wave destroyed New York, Eastern Europe is frozen solid, and millions of people have died. The man responsible for this is Magneto. We start this story with Reed Richards torturing Namor, believing that he is to blame for all of this, even though Charles Xavier told everybody on Earth that Magneto is at fault. I can tell you that this is next level delusion. Ultimate Reed is a fucking loser. I'm sorry for the language. After that, the comic cuts to Thor finding his love, Valkyrie, dead. He goes to Hela Domains to make a deal with her to bring back his love. Here we see Hela in her outfit. I don't even know what. That's barely an outfit, I'm sorry. She makes Thor fight Legions of the Dead. But then Captain America comes to his aid. He's a bit dead right now, it doesn't really matter. Now we see Hawkeye and Hank Pym searching for the Wasp. Hawkeye finds her. But I don't think I can show this panel. She's being eaten alive right now. She's kind of dead. It's kind of fucked up. I hate the Ultimate Universe. The only good thing out of that is Spider-Man. The comic ends with Charles telling Magneto that he will be remembered as the Madman. Like the Mustache Man, which I will not tell his name, but you can probably know which one I'm talking about. The one from World War II. Which is crazy considering, again, that Magneto is a Holocaust survivor. Magneto being rightfully angry right now, killed Xavier in cold blood. This comic gets even crazier from now on, but if you want, I will make a video about the whole comic. I don't want to do that, but I'm a slave to you. So yeah, this is ultimatum. The Mr. Knight Moon Knight skin first appeared in Secret Avengers 2010 in issue 19. The issue starts with, oh my god, Romania mentioned, guys. We fucking won. I'm Romanian, by the way, so this is huge. Asha, so the comic begins with Stephen Grant being summoned in a room. Outside, Steve Rogers tries gaining access to the private door and fights the doorman. Upon defeating him, his opponent unleashes an explosive energy, which is kinda weird. Steven is revealed to be Moon Knight, or in this moment is revealed to be Mr. Knight. He hands a call girl a disguise and money, telling her to leave this place and never return. Mr. Knight finds out that their opponents are possessed, not on drugs. I'm sorry. The Secret Avengers confront Void Danoi, who reveals that his drugs came from bones in Transia. Rogers lobs a bottle of alcohol at him, and Widow throws an active lighter, setting him on fire. Moon Knight then gives him a hard kick, sending Voidani crashing out of the building to his assumably death. I don't think he survived that. The Scarlet Spider-Man skin first appeared in Scarlet Spider 211 in issue 1. Again, this is kind of credited wrong again. It appeared first in issue 2. I mean, that is the first time where Kane is wearing the suit. It appears in issue 1, but we only see it in a bag, so I will not count that. So it appears first in issue 2. Now, beginning the issue, the comic, making money by robbing and stopping robbers, so he can enter Mexico. He finds himself in Houston, Texas, where he saves a young girl from being trafficked and left her in a hospital. For some reason, a superpowered villain that calls himself Salamander is trying to murder the girl. Kane feeling that he has to go save her, because of the with whole power comes blah blah blah. He puts on the Scarlet Spider suit. After defeating him, the people at the scene cheered him on and told him that they needed a hero. Kane, still feeling responsibility for the girl, decides to remain in Houston as the Scarlet Spider. The Armor Model 42 Iron Man skin first appeared in Iron Man 212, issue 1. The story begins with Maya Hansen sending a message to Tony before being burned to death. Tony receiving this message, he realized that this can only mean one thing. Someone made her reconstruct extremis. Knowing this, he infiltrates a AIM convention where they plan to sell extremis. After hacking into their system, he is found, but he opens his suitcase that contains a smart metal. This transforms in his Model 42 armor. The end. The Thunderbolts Punisher skin first appeared in Thunderbolts 212 issue 1. Well, actually, it first appeared in issue 2, again, it's credited wrong. But the whole of issue 1 is General Ross assembling the Thunderbolts. First is Agent Venom, second is Deadpool, third is Elektra, and finally, the fourth and last member is the Punisher. With the whole team complete, with her Red Hulk as the Riddle, they begin their mission. Well, actually before that, everybody gets a black and red version of their suits, and this is where we first see this outfit. The Uncanny Black Steel Magneto skin first appeared in Magneto 214 issue 1. After falling in with Cyclops and the X-Men, now being no longer the man he once was, he is determined to fight the war for mutant kind's survival on his own terms. He first wears this suit when he goes to kill Colton Henry. I'm sorry this is such a short thing, but nothing crazy happened, so yeah, I'm sorry. The Jovial StarLord skin first appeared in Legendary StarLord 214 issue 1. Now, there isn't really a story reason for this outfit, it's more because of the success of James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Marvel started to transform all the comic Guardians to be more similar to their movie counterparts. So this suit is more inspired by Chris Pratt's version of StarLord. So the comic doesn't really have anything to do with it, but if you want a quick TLDR, we see StarLord trying to steal something from an orphanage, but quickly he's captured, he's talking to Kitty Pryde, and he manages to escape the capture and steal what he wanted to steal and gives money to orphans. This is a TLDR for the story. I'm sorry it doesn't make sense, but it just doesn't have anything to do with the outfit. It's just because of the movies, and I kind of hate that a bit. I'm sorry. The Superior Iron Man skin first appeared in Superior Iron Man 214 issue 1. Recently, every personality of the villains and heroes were reversed. Heroes become evil, and villains became good. But when things were put back to how they needed to be, Tony Stark remained evil. We see Iron Man coming to help She-Hulk defeat Teen Abomination. After talking how bad that is for a name, Teen manages to decapitate Iron Man. Well, actually, Tony wasn't even in there, it was just his suit. The armor gets back up and defeats the Teen Abomination. He tells him that he did all this just to get Tony's attention. Tony doesn't care. He's at a pool party right now. Pepper comes to talk to him. There, Tony shows her his new symbiote-like suit. Pepper tells him that the Extremis up is a problem. The Extremis up makes you look perfect. So I kind of see that as a problem. We see some guys harassing a poor human who isn't able to use the app. So yeah, they bully her for being ugly. But luckily, Daredevil is there to stop them. But then something happened. The free trial for the Extremis app is done. Now you have to pay $99.99 daily to be beautiful again. The comic ends with Pepper talking to a mysterious person about how it's time to activate the contingency plan. It's revealed that she's talking to a sentient Iron Man armor, which is kind of interesting. This is another one of those comics that I would very much like to make a video in the future. It's an interesting story, and there are some crazy things that happen later on. And this was the last skin. I hope to enjoy the 40 comics that I needed to read for this video. Now, this will probably be the longest video in this series, but don't worry, the others will come very quickly. Part 2 for Season 0 will probably release in this week, so in like 3 days from when this video is posted, part 2 will probably be up. Now, on this, you can see now, if there already is the part 2 video, you can see the video here to click on it, and the playlist is also here for the whole series. So, I was Spidey, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.